All right, all right, all right. What's up, folks? We alive. We alive. Here to talk Claressa Shields versus Franchon Crews-Dezurn. And man, what a good fight, man. Going about the first 2 to 3 rounds to where Claressa Shields really start to pull away in this one, man. Almost like a track meet, man, where you really see an elite level track and field artist on that 100 meter, 200 meter, and begin to pull away as the distance closes to a finish. And that's what you're seeing with this one. Uh, always cardio issues with Franchon. It's always a cardio related issue with Franchon. She going there looking like a soup sandwich. Uh, it just doesn't have it. It's trying to fight at a pace that Claressa Shields, who lets her hands go. Now, there's a lot of flaws within women's boxing, and there's a lot of flaws with Claressa Shields. I just don't you think you have a female fighter who has the ability to throw off combinations, to multiply their punches, who work off a crisp jab at that weight class that she's at. You got Michaela Mayers, you got Alicia Baumgartner, Serrano, Katie Taylor, who are more the skilled women, but Claressa Shields is way above them. Now, if you have women of that skill set at the level that Claressa Shields fight at, Claressa Shields could be food for a lot of those fighters, but there's no skilled women. The toughest match that Claressa had, in my opinion, will be Savannah Marshall. She had it against what was that lady name? Hannah Gabriel. She had against Hannah Gabriel and stuff like that, but Hannah Gabriel were on their way out. So you start having these voids in the weight classes that Claressa's at. The more talented, more skill levels are the women down there where Michaela Mayers and Savannah Marshall. I mean, not Savannah Marshall. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Like, those women really, really can box. They have a lot of the tools that come with the sweet science. You don't really see that with Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields can get out there and be as flawed as she showcases, just the fact that she has speed over a lot of women in power, being that she is skilled herself. She has a lot of the skills that the other women at the higher weight classes don't possess. But early on, man, they were opening themselves up. Now, Claressa was talking about the power from Franchon, and she felt that pop. Now, I heard Franchon talking about was that old woman's strength or some shit. But the other thing I want to talk about Franchon, man, Franchon and the idiotic shit that was displayed mainly by her. I think Claressa's is just a response to her. The statement she made about her taking with their relationship, her being with a married dude, just saying all type of just way out offensive shit that people who are cool with one another should never take it to that point. Like, yeah, you're going to get in a fight, but it doesn't mean you take it to a level where you got to offend the person and really bring out truths that you've always wanted to state about this person. And then now when you come out of a fight, you're left to hug, kiss, and make up and all of that shit, and having to really regret the hurtful shit that you made public, you got on Twitter, got on YouTube, Instagram, and all these other platforms to try to slander a person you're cool with. And luckily, cooler heads prevail. Claressa Shields could have shitted on her, could have dogged her, but deep down, it was something that I guess touched the heart of Claressa, to where she didn't really want to take it to where she gonna kick Franchon while she down, and she really just stated like she loves her. That's her sister. And they're beyond the brawl that happened. They're beyond the comments that were made between each other. And that's the common thing where you see with black folks who go into competition with each other, is the derogatory shit that is stated to one another. And that's something I think we got to break out. That's something, even like what Bud was talking about going in his fights, that it doesn't take for black people to have to take shit to the drama levels to try to sell off a fight. And I hate even with the announcement made in the ring about Claressa Shields going to that retardation committee of shit with the baddie girl. What they call them, baddies. Baddies ain't even baddies. Used to mean pretty chicks. Now baddies mean some old brain dead, ignorant ass whores who sit inside of a house, messy than a motherfucker, don't do anything of what a woman used to be, and that's the keeping a house in order, keeping a house clean and organized. A baddie is a bitch who would destroy nice shit. These bitches punch each other in the head, and it is simple as that. That's what a bad chick is now. She just retarded, where they lose their teeth from fighting and shit. You can't take them nowhere without them starting shit. And a lot of chicks have become this shit. When a bitch tell me shit, baddie, man, get your stupid ass the fuck away. Aaron Parker in the building, salute. My cousin Deuce Time in the building, salute to everybody else out there. Don't know if y'all watched that fight, man. It was also another fight on that card. The girl, the tall chick that Claressa ended up beating up last time. Claressa dropped her, I think, late in the fight or at the end of the round. Price, her name was something Price, tall former basketball playing chick. She fought that white chick. She won by that white chick ass. I mean, that white chick made a huge mistake trying to sit in there and make these exchanges with him. Now, yesterday she pulled her titty out. They're doing that face-off thing, trying to flex, and she pushed her and pulled a titty out of the little white chick. And they get in the ring, and this chick try to go in there feeding off of that type of energy and wanted to step to this chick and stand right in front of her and got her ass mixed the hell up, not putting her hands up, not moving her head out the way, and just eating mean punches from this chick who also she rolls forward with her punches, putting her weight on shit. She's hitting that chick with some hard shots to the damn head that when she dropped her, oh girl didn't want no more of that shit. Think they said she bust her lip and was leaking. She didn't want no more of that shit. Then it was that co-main event with the dudes where the dude passed out. It also goes with the idiot side of how here in America they handle these situations where a fighter is knocked out. You just see this time and time again. And there's a reason when fighters are in there suffering damage, they can walk out of these fights with brain issues, head trauma and shit. It's just the way that the medical teams handle it. And they really don't handle this shit at all. They don't really handle these things. They don't really handle these things at all. These motherfuckers go in here and allow these people to fucking just take this damage to the fucking head, walk out of these fights, and nobody's treating them. Wait, damn. Hold on. I know this ain't this chick. I happen to click on Instagram looking for something. I see Terrence Bailey on this mug, and I see this chick I used to work with. I got a cold story about this chick. This is her motherfucking ass. This is that chick Avenue. I ain't gonna talk about that. Oh shit, that is her motherfucking ass. But yeah, I see Terrence Bailey live with Crank Lucas on Instagram and shit. But going back into this one, man, with the damage. So the dude suffers a headbutt going out of the second round. I think they were going, was it the first or second round, I believe? Yeah, I think it was the first round. They're going in for an exchange and punches, and the one dude who suffers the most damage in that exchange of a headbutt cracks his head against this other dude, goes to his corner, taking instructions, and then this motherfucker just passes the fuck out. Passes out. And they just sitting there looking at this motherfucker. These fools just sitting over there staring at this dude after he got his melon cracked and ain't going in there to rush him out of the ring, rush him to a hospital. They sitting there staring at him. No oxygen put on this dude. And this is the way they handle shit in America. They had this dude to get up, walk to the back, all this type of just shit that just bugs the fuck out of me when watching boxing. That shit bugs the hell out of me when I watch boxing and seeing a fighter that is hurt and what they do here. They slow to get up in the ring, slow to go assess the person. The person's knocked the fuck out. There's no oxygen put on them. And they're constantly fucking, constantly making these dudes sit up, making them walk, making them to answer questions rather than being like, all right, as a precaution, let's get this person off to the damn hospital to ensure that we deal with no other damage. Because that's how That's how the fighter Dadashov ended up dying and shit when he was fighting Sabril Matias. And as he's taking this damage and shit, being beat to a pulp, walking to the back of the damn arena when he passes out, goes into convulsions, and then he'll end up dying and shit. Like, that's the type of stupid shit that you see here in this country with the sport. Community Empress says she won't be says she won't by, or she won. Says she won by 10 points. Says it was a good fight. Says I'm really getting tired of the woke mess. Says with no knockout. Says expectations are really low. Says people has her above. Nah. I don't even think much of like Layla Ali being like a quote and all that shit like that, because I just don't think the competition and skills is up there with a lot of these women division, especially the heavier women. You just don't have that. Like even tonight, the girls who fought only got 10 fights. They have no background in boxing. They come from out of other sports. You had that one fight years ago. De La Hoya was promoting this female. I think her name was Estrada or some shit like that. This fight lasts like 7 seconds to where they bring this lady into this fight with Estrada, who's a champion, has a background in boxing, thinks she comes from an amateur background, has a crazy skill set. De La Hoya and them find this old ass lady who's like 40-something years old. They have been setting this woman up for fights against fighters with debuts. She goes into this fucking ring. As soon as the bell rings, she barely out her corner. That's how scared this lady was. Estrada, what's her name? She's a Mexican lady out of De La Hoya's old camp. She left De La Hoya. She goes across the ring. Then the girl's still in her corner when the bell ring. Goes on her, punch this lady the fuck up, knock her the fuck out, unconscious, and they celebrated that shit. You just don't have much of the talent. Claressa Shields coming out of the Olympic system. She grew up in a gym, which gives her huge advantages over other girls, where a lot of girls just ain't going towards boxing. You're starting to see the development and better skills in women in mixed martial arts. Maybe one day you'll see it migrate over to boxing. But like I say, the smaller chicks have a lot of these skills that if these chicks were of a size of Claressa, yeah, there her name is Anisha Estrada. Thanks, Rob G. Anisha Estrada. Hold on, I need to pull that one up because it'll show this. I want to show this lady's record, because you just don't deal to where there's a fair playing field with a lot of chicks with a lot of the chicks with higher skill sets, especially as what's her name calls herself the GWOAT, because she was getting hit with a lot of punches tonight, Claressa Shields. It was just nothing that Franchon can do, because Franchon gas tank is about as low as it fucking gets. But let me see. She got a lot of fucking Sanisha got a lot of fights on her record. But I want to find this. I just want to show an example of that shit. Because even like tonight, you had to where these girls with 5 fights in their careers and going into championship fights. Where is this damn one round fight she fought? Is this her name? No, it's not Rachel Shows-Off. This lady had like 5 fights or some shit. Hold on, where is it? It's definitely a knockout. It wasn't round 3, it was round 1. That shit probably didn't. Oh, wait, here. There it is, Miranda Atkins. So here it is, Miranda Atkins. So look, this lady ain't fought since that shit. She down there killed this woman. This woman was, wait, do it show an age? Hold on. She was 40. She was like 42, 43 years old when she fought this fight. I thought BoxRec put their records, their age in here. So she was 5-0 at the time going to this fight. She had 5 wins, 5 knockouts to make it look good for when she got in the ring with her to sell it off. So this happened 6 years ago. Are we still at the 5 year ago mark? So it happened July 24, 2020. So look at Estrada went over there and beat this girl in 7 fucking seconds. Walked over there, put a cute boom, 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 knocked her out cold. You don't see women do that shit. This woman fucking, wait, hold on. This woman in her career, let's see who she was fighting. She was fighting women in their debuts, and Oscar De La Hoya and them take it upon themselves to set a fight up like this. Oscar De La Hoya is the same dude try to sign a transgender woman into man's boxing and shit. And so Estrada, who was 18-0, is fighting this 43-year-old woman with 5 fights on her fucking record. And this is how trash this shit is. So here she is fighting Sheena Ward, who she had beat in the same year. She knocks Sheena Ward out in the fucking second round. Sheena wants to fight her again. What is this? 6 months later, and gets the same fucking result, but in the first round. This is how fucking delirious this damn sport is. And look, this girl a fucking chicken head. This girl a chicken head. Her baby hair is fried back out of her fucking head, and she got a little coin-sized ponytail in her head. So this is what boxing is. This lady had only 3 fights and been knocked out every single one of the motherfuckers. 2 of them from Miranda. This lady is fucking crazy. Wait a minute. So this is a crackhead lady. This is a crackhead. So this is the type of shit you deal with in boxing, why you pay attention and you don't always go off of the glitzy shit they do to promote a lot of these fighters. So she fought Miranda in April, got knocked out. She takes a fight 2 months later, gets knocked out. Then she takes a rematch against Miranda and gets knocked out again. You can't make this shit up only in boxing. You look through some of the records for some of these fighters, and you'll see them fight opponents who have lost 200 and 300 fucking fights. Hold on. Think I'm lying? Let me show you something. What's the dude Earl Spence beat over there in London? What was that dude? Because he got an opponent that got a record like that. What was that? Is his name Kell Brooks? Wait, I think it is Kell Brooks. Let me see. Kell Brooks. I think that is that fool name. Kell Brooks. No, not Cal. Wait, what's that fool name from out the UK? I think his name is Kell Brooks. Yeah, Kell Brook. Let me take the S off. Let me show this fool. This is another fool that was building up like a mug. Kell Brooks is a very good fighter. He fucked up when Eddie Hearn fucked him over bad. Eddie Hearn fucked this fool over when he had him go up and move up in weight and fight Triple G and shit. He was never the same. And then by the time Terrence got a hold to him, he was never the same. Terrence hit that motherfucker. He had a U-turn and shit. So he was done when he started taking his loss. He's undefeated. They moved him up in weight. Triple G broke his eye socket. Then that fool would come back a year later, fight Earl. Earl whooped his ass. But let me go into his record as they're building him up and the opponent he fought. So he fought this fool named Peter Buckley, who at the time Kell fought him had 189 fucking losses. They let niggas like this box. Look at his record. This fool, 32 wins, 256 losses, and 12 draws. So you lost to this motherfucker, you know you was pure ass. So let's go over to the other opponent. He fought this fool, Brian Coleman, who was an American motherfucker, I believe. He was 24 and 139 when they had Kell Brooks fighting. This fool, Leroy Williams, is 46 losses as well. So this fool in his total career, he's so embarrassed he don't even want to put a picture of. He 141 losses. I mean, this shit's just despicable with the shit they do in boxing. This even a guy, I think Dillian Whiten may have fought this other heavyweight that's out there with like 200 and 300 losses when they fought him. You see a lot of this shit. So it was just like when you look at women's boxings and there's huge gaps in skill set matchups. But like I say, Claressa just being a more highly skilled boxer in comparison to the others, these motherfuckers can't match up to her. But had she had how like Alicia Baumgartner are calling the fighter, I think they would defeat Claressa. So I don't buy into the quote thing like from an actual thing, but it's no different than me talking about that always right shit. I don't think Claressa is the greatest, but what she's accomplishing against the class of talent she's fighting against, she can only go off of that, but I don't think she's greatest. I don't think Layla Ali was neither. And then Deuce Time says, I didn't watch it. Says I was watching the Clippers. Did the Clippers lose? Clippers get smashed. I see the Lakers got smashed, and that nigga Luka weak ass got dunked on. See Luka whole ass got dunked on. So I was enjoying that shit. Let me see. Did the Clippers lose? Yeah, the Clippers lost. Yeah, so you better off watching the damn fight. So the Clippers went out like Franchon tonight. So the Clippers went out like Franchons, fucking off their chances of making it to the playoffs. So got to keep on trucking, keep on trucking. I see Kawhi did his thing though, 37, 14, 25. Unlike Luka and LeBron just hawking up shots, missing all of them. And then salute to the Magic, salute to Orlando Magics, kicking y'all ass. And then Brandon Washington, the building, salute. Rob G was giving me the name of Sanisa Estrada, the one who beat the 40. I think that lady was like 45 years old. And Oscar De La Hoya ought to have been ashamed of himself for fucking setting up some shit like that. Could have got that stupid ass old lady killed. And that old lady, before she even took up boxing, matter of fact, when she fought Estrada, let me go back to that shit. When she fought Estrada, I think she started boxing that fucking year. The lady came out of doing like fitness shit or some shit like that. Hold on, let me go back to that. Because that goes back to my time in some of the earlier videos I used to do. Let me see. Okay, let me back this one up. Well, her name was Sanisa Estrada. Let me go back to that shit real quick. And this opponent. And has Sanisa even been fighting? Because Sanisa wasn't, matter of fact, Sanisa was not really the same after whooping that girl ass. She kind of started taking, like, being real cautious about how she fought opponents, even though she's still undefeated fighter. She ain't fought since March of 2024. She ain't fought since March of 2024. Let me see. So when she fought this girl, like, that was her last, no, she had one more knockout. But let me see. This lady she fought, Miranda, picked up boxing. So she picked up boxing in September of 2018. So she had been boxing for just approaching 2 years. So a year and 11 months she had been boxing when Oscar threw her old ass in the ring with her. Like, that's the sick side of these people in boxing, man. They act like Caesar from the Roman days and shit with it. I know boxing in the building. Salute. Rob G says that lady had mom on her trunks. When Estrada knocked her out in 7 seconds. That shit was crazy. And then in the next 9 says only manly hoes says go into boxing. But no, that ain't true. That ain't true. Even though some of them be looking manly as fuck, you got to think of the nature of women. Women fucking like to fight. Women love to start shit. Women are the ones who get dudes killed. Women love that drama shit. And that's why it takes for a real dude to be able to control a motherfucking chick, man. You gotta be a stand-up dude to control. And that's why you deal with some of these ignorant black broads who speak this shit out loud. They don't want a motherfucking dude they can run over. So that means they challenge motherfuckers at all times. You gotta be stand up to dealing with them motherfuckers. I know how to deal with them. I mean, I know how to say hard shit, and when I don't want to deal with them, I know how to say, oh man, that's why I be like, man, don't be liking to say the shit I say to motherfuckers. So that's why I be like, I can't do that relationship shit. Because you're going to be a bitch who think it's your job to challenge a motherfucker, deliberately do that stupid ass shit because some other bitch from before you done taught you that's the way you get down. And then you come across a motherfucker like me and I'm going to destroy your motherfucking ass. And then Anthony Jones says that fight was horrible. Says, but congrats to Claressa. Yeah, after a while, when it first happened, when that fight first started, I said, oh my God, these chicks going, wow, like, oh shit. Somebody about to get knocked off. She was catching Claressa with some shit too. She was catching Claressa, but Claressa did one thing to adjust. She made a cold adjustment because she was getting caught with shots. Cause Franchon would throw, like, she can throw that jab off. She can angle herself. She's catching Claressa's shots off of her lead shoulder and shit. She'll roll out the way, let Claressa throw something, especially if Claressa threw a right hand. She'll throw that lead shoulder out as a defense and have her body position. She'll throw them right hands, and she was catching Claressa ass. Claressa immediately made the adjustment on that. And she talked about that in the press conference. Because I'm watching the fight. I'm like, if she can keep this shit up, she'll catch Claressa. And she was just starting to wear down. She started to fade out, which she looks like in all of her fights. That's the other side with some of the women's boxing at that level. Why they do 2 minutes. because they don't have the conditioning. They don't have the cardio. I don't care how slim and how fit a lot of these chicks is. They don't have the cardio to do them 3-minute rounds and they fade out. Aaron Parker says to Kell Brooks, and they said, yeah, Kell Brooks. And it's some other boxers with records like the guys Kell Brooks is fighting, especially at heavyweight, especially in the UK and shit. And then Raji says he beat him for the IBF. And then Jay Stan says, you funny. He says, you funny, man, laugh out loud. Yeah. I think comedy is good, man. I think it's good to be funny. I think it's good to laugh. I think it's good to be serious on shit. I think it's just good to be well-versed. And I think comedy and being funny is a thing that Black people should pride on, because we are funny culture people, but we got to be more serious when it's time to be serious. But not lose the ability to learn how to laugh and be comical and shit. Nigga Nine says, I remember when King 78 said promoters try to get him to box, and says and promise to get him to 20-0. Man, that fool ain't say that shit. But you get promoters that do that shit. You get promoters that do that. That's even like Eddie Hearn's stupid ass. Like I even seen Eubanks put out. Salute to the homies that sent me the video talking about Eubanks clowning Eddie Hearn. Wait, who sent me that shit? Who sent me that shit? Oh, was that Tank? I think Tank sent me that shit. And he was talking about Eubanks talking about who was the biggest scumbag. Was it Eddie Hearn or was it Chris Eubanks? No, Tank didn't send me that shit. Who sent me? Oh, that was CJ, I believe. Or no, wait, it wasn't CJ. Who sent me the video about Chris Eubanks going in on one of the fools? Where that damn video at? I don't see that shit no more. Who sent me that shit? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's who it was. Dom, homie. That's who sent me that shit. It was Dom that sent me that shit, talking about Chris Eubanks, talking about the Eddie Hearn's number one fighter who he protected, helped fight drug charges, and that nigga played him and shit. And then Jay Stan says, how the fuck you had that many fights? Says, damn, that's boxing. That's the corrupt side and unregulated side of this sport. And the fact that sanctioning bodies make no sense. Sanctioning bodies are not needed in this sport. And the fact they allow this shit because their structures are pointless. Hold on. Are we back, folks? He says, how the fuck you had that many fights? Says, damn. He says, dudes fighting every other day. So shaking my head, laughing my ass off. Yeah, it's bad in boxing. It's bad. And then you see fighters who come out, this fool 20, 25-0, 35 knockouts, because they were doing that with Edgar Berlanga. We watched Top Rank do that right in front of our faces with Edgar Berlanga. They presented Edgar Berlanga with all them goddamn knockouts, first round knockouts. He knocking everybody out. And a lot of people have been seeing this shit for a long time, thought nothing to Edgar Berlanga. Oh man, that shit look cool, for casual motherfuckers. But when they start stepping this dude up, he gonna start having issues. What he start doing? Biting motherfuckers. First time he get knocked down, he doing shit to get points deducted. Then he go into fights, especially when he let that Canelo shit, the fact he survived against Canelo go to his head, and he went right into his next fight and got his ass knocked the fuck out. And you would never see anything from Berlanga again. Dusan says, imagine going against the Clippers, says, but trying to exonerate Eugene. Wait, Eugene says straight compromise. Exonerate Eugene. You talking about Big U? You didn't see me exonerating him. You see me speaking about, hearing the shit that came out, and then you are compromised because you're a gang member. You compromised because you don't like the gang that he comes from. Me, I'm not compromising none of that shit. Me, what I speak of, if you hear versus you want me to hear what every other ignorant, self-hating Negro beyond that want to see niggas in jail for 1 billion years, is to be like seeing the ignorance of the internet, but the fact of if niggas is getting down like this and people are talking about this shit being on wiretap and law enforcement sitting back watching this shit, no charges ever come up out of that shit, and to a bunch of delusional, buffoonish criminals jump on YouTube and other internet platforms to talk about and film their acts of crime, it makes you wonder. And then just like you see this shit tonight with the USA hockey team full of white cats and the funky ass FBI director end up, hold on, let me pull this shit up. The funky ass FBI director in the damn locker room dancing, shucking and moving his old fucking curry goat. Man, I can say so much about this damn buffoon up out of India from fucking Trump's FBI. Let me pull this shit up. That you think that this motherfucker, even in the present state of how America's investigative bureaus are supposed to be, you think you will ever get anything done with white folks committing criminal shit? You think you would ever get that shit? Let's show this goddamn FBI director. So while you talking about me being compromised and talking about exonerate, you hear me say exonerating nothing for Big Q. You have this delusionary fucking thought process because you on gangbanger shit. This is your FBI director. The darkest motherfucker in this room amongst fucking people, the complexion of the goddamn shit they skate on. In there on this delusional shit, singing a bunch of ain't even from the USA. Cash Patel's like a whore. The highest bidder can fucking play with the strings on this fucking punk. You think he'll charge any of these type of looking fools with any kind of criminal shit? It's just like I was watching the shit with motherfucking the damn wrestler dude. What was the dude used to be the boss of the wrestling shit before they kicked him out? Make whatever that fool now. I don't even know that chump name. He ain't even important to me. But whatever the dude used to own the damn WWF, crashing a car going 115 miles fucking per hour, driving all off of over the road. Why a highway patrol officer, state trooper, wherever the fuck they call where other people are from, is just watching McMahon, isn't it? Jim McMahon, whatever the fuck his name, driving erratic as fuck, 50 something miles over the fucking speed limit, crashes into somebody's car, and when this officer pulls him over, he's having a polite, casual conversation with this motherfucker that you done watch violate every fucking damn law. Vince McMahon, that's his name. Violate every single law of the fucking road, and then committed some criminal shit, and you act like you was going to arrest him. And that's just like this other shit I watch with these fucking degenerate white fucking cops. Why niggas think it's something wrong with black motherfuckers serving law enforcement like the fucking dingbat niggas is let me show this shit. Let me show this. Let me see. Employee chases, ex-employee chases employee with a gun, fatally shot by damn. They out here killing workers out here in Vegas. Let me go to this shit. Wait, where is this video I was watching? Because I gotta do a live stream on this case. But the thing is, where they find this dismembered little kid in the back of a car trunk. And it's the mother's car. But the way these officers handled this shit is the most despicable shit. This involves Eli Hart's mother, Jalissa Thowler. And you watch the way they handle this shit, the treatment of this white lady who they watch fucking, let me just go to this shit. Let me show her on here real quick. Oh, let me show this shit. Hold on. So hold on, let me show this shit. Where's the screen share shit? Let's see. Hold on, let me pause this video with the Las Vegas police. I'm gonna hear it later. So it's this lady right here. So this lady is driving down the road. They driving the opposite way. This lady got missing a back windshield. These cops are some of the most degenerate fucking cops I ever seen in life. And it goes when they see people like this who are of this complexion, who can look like they can be their daughters and shit, and they handle these situations with them a different way, and to find out they're violators of crime. They let this woman walk off. No, not only that, this woman driving on the road with blood on her fucking hands, missing a fucking front wheel, windshield busted out. They spot blood all in her car. It's smelling like death in her backseat. These clueless fucking bimbo ass cops are wondering, allowing this lady to make up every single stupid ass excuse. Story don't match, and they take her fucking home. Give her a ride back to her house. And after they're returning, after the cop then dropped her off, the cop drops her off. He's returning back to the scene. These fucking dumbass cops decide, let's look in the trunk. So this is after they drop her off. As soon as this cop drop her back off to her apartment, she rushes in with her boyfriend, grab their bags and belongings, and they skirted the fuck up out of there, leaving town. And then they go to find this bitch later. They go to capture this bitch later, where her and the dude does this shit to their own kid, this little kid. But the cops, the way they handled this shit, allowing this bitch, I gotta do this shit because I gotta go in on the cops, as well as the fucking mother. So it ain't no thing with my cousin talking this crazy shit. He love to talk and shit because he hates certain niggas. I don't think like you niggas do. But seeing the way in which they handle that shit, let this white woman walk away, and then find a baby dismembered in the trunk of her fucking car. After then, let this bitch go after they gave her a fucking right. Woman should have been arrested on that fucking scene. And at least put it on a fucking 5150 hold. And then they come across this kid in the trunk. But let this bitch get off. These motherfuckers stupid as fuck. This bitch will later get her fucking life sentence and shit. But going back into the big U shit that Deuce is talking about is the fact that niggas don't know how to look at shit. Like these motherfuckers, and even listen to the fool Al Prophet and put up all type of shit when talking about the police. Like niggas don't see the problem in this motherfucker, and even the behavior of motherfuckers who participate in criminal shit and harmful shit to other black motherfuckers, exploiting black motherfuckers. Now, if they find a case of him doing that shit, I ain't going off of niggas on the internet talking about they raised some paperwork and this is what they said he did. I would never feed off of that stupid shit. But when I look at it and they say he did all this shit, that law enforcement is really sitting there watching that shit. It's just like in the live you talking about, Deuce. Like I said, when they had a fight with the Blocks and the Hoovers, who are known to kill each other, oh, even on that corner, it's probably been fucking that one spot off of the street we grew up off of in Normandy. They probably 10 motherfuckers have been killed right there, if not more. That the police will allow these motherfuckers, and these niggas dumb enough to fall into this entertainment for fucking white ass police officers who at the end of a shift is going to drive off to some old white community and laugh and go to sleep dreaming about tomorrow's shift. We should have a lot of fucking bodies to pick up off the street. All throughout this summer, these dumb Negroes who we allow to fight and create conflict with each other, they will keep our jobs secure and keep it entertaining and fun as we look on the scenes of, hey, this is the dumb motherfucking big wide-nosed Negro that we allow to fight his enemy on this street. And now they go to pick up the weapons that they so use. Like, come on, homie. Like, that shit is not cool. And then to think that there's victims if these fools are committing these murders, while cops sit there and tap into people's phones and listen to that shit. They taps on these fucking devices too. You hear all type of signal changes in your fucking phone like they want to listen in on shit. But we can allow Cash Patel to sit his drunk ass at a fucking super white ass sporting event and act all belligerent and goofy when his job is to fucking do investigative shit that he won't do, that should be conducted against the motherfucker who has employed him in this position. It's how compromise. You want to talk about compromise, you better look to the nigga that you love so much and Donald Trump and the rest of them. And then Jay Stan said that was Vince McMahon. And he says, said that wasn't Vince. Says it was Mr. Whatever his name, McHone or whatever say. No, that's Vince McMahon, says. And then Jay Stan says, Stinger from above. He says, laughing out loud. And then Go Young DJ says that shit is a lot of propaganda, says with the Big U situation. Yeah, that's why I don't buy into that Big U shit that I hear. I ain't buying into none of that shit, especially the one nigga who don't like him, who I come across. I've been hearing that dude name for a while. The dude was covered his face. What they call that nigga name? He got some Muslim name now, but he talking about I'm doing La, Naba, Shaba, and all this other stuff that these niggas out of prison be using in the Muslim language and be still worried about street shit. Nigga, you ain't no fucking Muslim. You worried about nigga who done did this, beat you up in that neighborhood and all this other shit, and then you on here talking Muslim. Yeah, Eddie Boy. Thanks, DJ. Yeah, the Eddie Boy dude. talking about Hamdulillah and Ashabaza and all this stuff and got a Muslim name on his channel and shit. Like, you are not Muslim. You are playing around with these people's belief. You're playing around with these people's belief in a fucking religion and not standing by that shit, worried about crime shit and telling on who telling all day and all this other shit. That is not evident of you being of that faith, because if you truly were, you would not be worried about what these dumb motherfuckers getting themselves caught up in. It's simple as that. It ain't got nothing to do with sympathizing and all this other shit for Big U and them like that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I hate to hear if that's what the fuck these dudes had did with their opportunities to change in their lives, bringing about positive incomes around the area, which is so negative and violent. And behind the scenes, they doing some other shit, because that's always the other thing you can't trust with niggas is they have one foot in some Jekyll and Hyde shit with people. That's why I don't get involved with motherfuckers and hanging with people like that, because you don't know what is in the essence of motherfuckers' heart. And I know what the fuck I can be on, and I don't want to be on no violent shit. In certain time, well, I wouldn't even go to jail. I'd be fucking, I understand the law. I'd be writing the law if I had to murk some stupid motherfucker. DJ says anybody that uses religion as their identity is a phone. That's a fact. Dusai says it wasn't a secret. Says that Nib didn't affect with Big U. Says like that. Wait, what you mean affect? Are you mean fuck with Big U like that? Says Nib got draws out of his business. And Big U wasn't feeling that. The fuck you talking about? That's fallout shit. Like, what are you talking about? That shit ain't got nothing to do with what happened to him. Like, of course people gonna get mad and all this other shit. Ain't got nothing to do with his death. Y'all niggas want to attach a murder to this dude because that's the despicable nature of black people without proof and evidence. And you want to lead your people where they ain't really your master, but some of you niggas got recidivism into slavery inside of your brains to where white folks you want to play as your master. So you want to run this shit and put this nigga away. Throw this nigga in the trash. Throw him away. He did all that shit. Because y'all buying this conspiracy shit. That's why I do not like conspiracy theory for shit. Because it leads to people pulling shit out of their asses and throwing it at a wall and hoping shit stick. Now, if they run the evidence like these sorry ass fucking cops sit on these fucking goddamn devices and go in here and snoop in on you motherfuckers, and you talking about your off the grid ass nigga, all this anti-government shit, but you support all that shit. You ain't none of that shit. That these niggas sit on these devices, go to courts to get fucking court orders and the warrants that allow them to surveil motherfuckers. And they just sit back there and watch these niggas commit crimes against other people who look like them, or commit crimes in neighborhoods that their parents ran away from, and they want to see the destruction of these neighborhoods so they can slowly come into these motherfuckers. Let's get the felonies the fuck up. I'm not dropping no link, bro, because I don't want to hear none of y'all delusional shit. And then just run this shit up with felony, and let's move in and let's remove these people from anything ever being passed down to them, i.e. properties. And then Deuce Time says, Big U and Kev Max says was laughing about Nip getting down alive. When was they ever doing some shit like that? The fuck y'all come up with that shit? The fuck you talking about, Deuce? Wasn't nobody laughing at that shit. Brandon talking about drop the link, says Deuce that's cap. And Deuce just be making up shit because he own that gangbanger shit. He don't like people from certain areas and shit. And he says, I just came in. But no, I'm not dropping a link on that shit. I don't want to hear people coming in with their assessments now and then. If the case proves that shit, when the trial is all said and done and nobody ain't been to this court shit, ain't nobody got assessments. That's why I don't even know where that dude talking about he got paperwork. Because if he got paid, I'm sure everybody will be running out here with paperwork. I doubt if you can even get the paperwork of transcripts leading to this fucking case. Where the fuck he gonna get it from? What he's running out with is people involved in that case. He's probably talking on the phone that's telling them their version of shit. Niggas don't know what's going on in that shit. They just waiting for certain niggas to call that the police is sitting there listening to these niggas' phone calls. and what they're reciting out to people. The prosecutors are involved on that shit. They ain't got no case against these damn dudes. They got a bunch of dudes that they round up, and guess what they start doing? This lesson should be a lesson that makes people want to go get an education, especially younger kids who may be frustrated in life, want to run with people involved in gang shit. No, it's ultimately, man, get over that shit that you feel you don't have no hope and nothing's going to change. Stay educated. Stay going on the pathway that'll lead to something versus following motherfuckers, because they round these motherfuckers up in these groups and put them in these RICO situations, and you watch them all collapse on one another. Start telling, he did this, he did that, it was him, and it was him, it was him, and it was that person, and it was that person. Good night. Hold on, folks. Peace. But yeah, so that's what they do. You see all this RICO shit and what these fools end up doing with one another, just ratting and shit, flipping on people. And then the prosecutor give a deal knowing the motherfucker done committed the same crime that he now gets to tell on people. That's the same shit like I always bring up. I've been said this shit about 1 billion times with the same person name, and the shit you see with Alpo in that situation in DC and New York, that this nigga could commit all these crimes, all these fucking murders, rat on somebody because they want one other motherfucker, and then he gets to walk free regardless of certain fucking 30 nigga killed. Y'all didn't fucking charge this nigga with, like, well, how many murders they charge Alpo with? Like 19 of them motherfuckers. He probably got more, but because he can tell on the one dude, the so-called Michael Jordan, niggas highlight that shit and love that shit. Man, that nigga's a Michael Jordan murder. Man, that nigga's the real killer. Niggas want to celebrate that shit. Niggas be one way, one moment, they conversate on some shit, then against some shit. Man, the Michael Jordan, like celebrating this nigga for murdering somebody's fucking family member, somebody's child and shit. Niggas think that shit cool. No, something's fucked up and deranged with that nigga. But the one nigga who ran with that shit committed all the same crimes with him, ordered many of these damn crimes, financed the money behind these people doing these crimes. He can go rat on everybody and walk. It's the wildest shit from these scumbags and law enforcement. Fact, Sammy the Bull, the same shit. Whitey Bulger, who I brought up earlier. When they throw his ass in jail, the fucking mob killed this whole ass, regardless of him being down there 90 years old. But a Boston motherfucking FBI and law enforcement allowed that motherfucker to continue to run his illegal crime shit while having niggas killed. FBI niggas knowing that shit, and they cover for that nigga. It's the same shit going on in LA. These old rah, loud ass niggas, a lot of them be fucking informants. A lot of them. It was even a cop who exposed this shit to me when I was applying with Long Beach police and shit. And then it was talking about how a bunch of these well-known niggas out there, fucking police informants, on the payroll with these niggas. And when they need information, they go right to one of their fucking informants. Nigga may be big-time drug dealers still out there. They allow this type of shit. And then Brandon Watson says, I was going to ask you, says, if you saw the cartel in Mexico. Yeah, I did a video on that shit. And then I'm seeing like the cartel reacting to that shit. Trump is on that shit like I always knew. It came out that the U.S. is behind that operation. I knew Trump was behind that shit. And now they trying to fucking run. They better hope that information don't get out, because the cartel going to start killing white people down there. But the cartel better be a little bit, they better use a little bit of fucking thought behind their actions before they go after Americans. Because the minute that shit start happening, and that gives grounds, and I think Trump wants that shit to happen, because Trump don't give a fuck about American lives or American people. But he just needs anything to use to gain public support. If they start killing little white folks down there and using it, America got to go in there, Mexico's too incompetent, and they will thrash the cartel. But even with the training the Mexican military got, they're going to thrash the cartel. But the way they react over that dude wasn't no motherfucking saint. That dude wasn't doing anything to fucking make Mexico a greater fucking nation or greater state. Like, he was foul as fuck. But so many people are so supportive of fucking criminal bullshit. So I don't knock Trump and them for their actions on this shit. I don't knock that shit. But so many people got so much high regards for the hustler. So many people have high regards for the hustler, the drug dealer, the killer, and all that other shit. So, but But to do it in the airport was a cold game. That was cold, vicious shit. But when I seen they capture the son and flew him off like they did Mandora and shit, I said, oh yeah, that's some U.S. shit. The United States trained these fools up on that shit. And then the fact they showed this nigga hog tied in the back of a helicopter. What is he fucking blindfolded and all that shit? Yeah, that's some military operations out the U.S. U.S. been training the Mexicans. And then Brandon Watson says I don't know nothing about no gang, says to be talking about it. And then Dusan says I think you're getting shit confused. Says the narrative is Big U, says wanted is dead, says not Big U sent says it's shitty. Nah, I wouldn't even say it's that. It's like you can record nigga and they say I can have that nigga, depending on the conversation. Like I don't think one of them dead. I think that's just bullshit. And I think it's bullshit that if they recorded that shit and then they will put that shit out. Well, it is a trial, so transcripts, but what is the relevance of that to even the case? The relevance is to if this nigga beats this case, we want this shit out here to where this nigga will have to go into a life of secrecy. He would have to remove himself and not be part of this organization that help young kids in the sports program or this mentorship shit he probably had, or any of the other programs he had going on that seemed to have some success rate within them. It's to remove him from that community. He'll be removed from that community. And that's the trick of a lot of the law enforcement and even the court system, that these recidivized slaves of America are too dumb to even realize that shit. It is to use this shit to pit niggas against one another, homie. But if he did that shit, there ain't no fucking defending that shit. But if they can allow the influencer on the internet to drive a narrative, then that's what they're gonna go with. That's what they're gonna go with. It's all part of a great plot and a plan that is so easy to use on the undereducated, the alcoholic, and the drug user. It is easy to use this shit, and they'll go right along with that shit. It is a great master plan. Dusan says everybody's seen the video of Kev Max says and Big U says laughing at Nips. What the fuck? Nobody's seen that shit. Like niggas would be laughing at that shit. Nobody laughing at that shit. This nigga is fucking. DJ says Sammy Bull says was involved in 19 murders, says told on John Gotti, says and got 5 years. He only did 5 years. Hold on, folks. Good night. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's in 5 years. You know, he had to serve more. No, he served more than 5 years. I think he sat behind bars for like 30, 40. But even that, he should have been spend the rest of his fucking life behind bars. Or I could be wrong, but 5 years would be bullshit. And this nigga killed people. Just because he ratted on fucking the mob's involvement in sport, fixing the boxing and sports. And then they sitting there turning a blind eye to the fact that he done killed niggas and buried niggas. And the Deuce Time says Reds on those shit, says unless CNN or paid propaganda articles tell them. Deuce, you listen to shit off of the internet, bro. You're a Twitter maniac. Now, what are you talking about? You don't have information. Like, you support Trump. You support defending Trump. What are you talking about? This nigga's a pedophile. You defend him every time you jump on here. Like, but you niggas want to see niggas in jail all day, but want to fucking defend Trump ass who belongs under a prison. Like, I just be looking at shit. Like, where do y'all figure the fucking way y'all process shit? And he says who gives a fuck about his summation of shit? And then Goyan DJ says they said Bronny says just went to Mexico. Man, Bronny would be huge collateral for a fucking cartel. He'd be stupid as fuck. He went out there. Like, I don't understand what's people fixation on going to foreign countries any fucking way. Or people are too dumb to even pay attention to climate in foreign nations. Like, niggas just dumb. Like, that's why I don't follow shit. I never follow the leader, no bitch. None of that shit. Bitches love traveling. Niggas love falling behind them. Don't pay attention to nothing. Like, this country is in civil conflict. But you want to go there to go sit on a fucking beach when these niggas in there blowing shit off and not knowing when there's secret plots of America being involved in some shit. And now Americans got to rush out of there. Nigga, you Brian, them niggas catch you. Oh, man, that should have had LeBron them sick. I hope he ain't in Mexico. But niggas be love traveling to foreign nations. Don't go out to get none of the foreign nations' culture. Don't go and get none of the foreign nations' history. Don't fucking tour shit that's worth the damn to the nation and what the people are like. Niggas want to go to shit that bitches enjoy. Like, get the fuck out of here. Motherfuckers, niggas have lost a lot of man shit. Like, man, fuck up out of here, man. And the Deuce Time says, DJ says, I'm capping about Big U, says, and Kev Max is laughing at the comments that said justice for Nip. And then Go Young DJ says, Mexican cartel says, got the same equipment, says the military got. Man, you may think they do, but no, they don't. No, they don't. And especially if America fund that shit. No, they don't. Them motherfuckers will annihilate the cartel. The cartel don't receive the training. They're probably special forces type motherfuckers all down there giving out the plans on how to go about this mission attack. They will slaughter the cartel if the American government got involved. That's no different than when they shot them black folks down there. And the cartel forgot to think the cartel thought they was dealing drugs. It one that they follow a broad down there to go get a BBL surgery and got themselves caught up in conflict that was taking place in that area. And I think they just actually got caught up in crossfire. And they killed, they killed the chick who was getting the BBL surgery and some other people. And then once they figured out, oh shit, these Americans, they were terrified that the American government was about to come in there and fuck shit up. And guess what the cartel did? They used some of their lower ranking members who probably didn't have nothing to do with that shit and turned them motherfuckers over. Sent the bodies back of these black folks, turned like 2 or 3 of their members in and said, these are people that did it. Here, America, we're sorry for that. It was accidental. They don't want to fuck with America. America would thrash these niggas. America, just even with Iran, I think America, with Trump crazy ass and knowing the power of our military, got Iran surrounded. Iran ain't take not one shot at none of them damn military ships outside of their country. Knowing Trump crazy ass and the order he can deliver, they probably go in there. Who knows? I don't know what the Iranian military is about, but America got a badass military. We're gonna see, but America, that don't mean America can whoop anybody ass or do whatever the fuck it wants. It ain't no telling. It's gonna be the make or break of Iran either proving to the world that they are top tier shit and not to be fucked with, or they gonna be doing all this huffing and puffing of their chest, talking all this Ayatollah tough shit, and it's gonna be silence. Maybe tomorrow morning, if it ain't going on right now. If it ain't going on right now. Or it may definitely pop off tomorrow. And he says, Deuce says, you said it right. Says, you said it right this time, laugh out loud. Says, laughing at the comments. Says, not laughing at Nip. And then Go Young DJ says, the police says, not even accusing Big Q of that. Says, that facts, DJ, facts. It's the fucking internet. And then other niggas want to support that shit. Like, it just shows how stupid niggas is, bro. And that shit is annoying as fuck to me. That black people are so fucking sometimey with when they are black, when they ain't black. Niggas caught up on blood shit, Crip shit, GD shit, and all this other little dumb shit that serves no purpose to shit. And then have everybody's enemy. Hate this nigga, he ain't my enemy. And then therefore allows other groups to treat a black motherfucker like he ain't shit because another black motherfucker can see it. See you targeting this motherfucker, treat him like shit, and some niggas be like, oh, that ain't my homie. Fuck, he doing whatever to him. That's like, matter of fact, I was watching it was Skip Thompson video. I think it's a Today video he put up where he's addressing some, because they got all these videos showing LA in the 80s and shit. Even Deacon 305 sent me a video from back in the 80s from out of LA and shit. And they were speaking about one of the jail units and shit, and he was speaking about that was like a real time. He was speaking about how it was hard to be a blood, and that some bloods roll it up and they wouldn't claim where they're from. And I'm listening. I was like, I don't blame a lot of bloods for not claiming blood or acting like they didn't bang when they fucking outnumbered 10 to fucking 1. Some cats wouldn't. But then it goes in. He was speaking about as the time went on, to where you start dealing with where Bloods and Crips had to get along is when you start having this influx of all these people from Latin American countries. And they begin to outnumber black folks and they start falling under the 13. He laid out a great timeline and history and the change, and where these people now had to fucking form their strength and unity amongst each other. But he said, even with that shit, as they were forced to unify under the threat of a unification of Spanish speaking people who form under the rule of the 13, along with other white groups for survival and shit, that these groups of blacks who divide themselves based off a principle of color and all this other, but Crips did some fucked up shit. There's no doubt about it. But it was even still hard for them to even unify to protect one another. And I've even seen it in the streets to where niggas look at somebody laid out in the street or beat the fuck up and they look, oh, they ain't my homie, and just show no regard for this motherfucker who looks like him. It's like, fuck him, whatever. That's the type of shit in some niggas' heads. It's wild shit. Even stories, I can tell shit about one of the homies doing some shit where some kids over a party, and it's this dumb shit with niggas following bitches. They want to go to a party and shit, and they go on and knowing they in a rival gang neighborhood, they probably think because they far away in other cities, but they are responsible for taking someone's life, and they over there partying and shit, and they get found out where they from, and they get their ass whooped. And so when they up there fighting and shit, they getting beat on. The homie put a fucking motherfucker put a pistol to his head, said, "Nigga, lay down, nigga, and let the homie stomp you the fuck out." What you gonna do? That's how vicious some niggas is. Nigga, lay your ass down and finish getting stomped out. Stump this nigga unconscious. Because they falling behind a bitch who ain't nothing but a bitch who fucking the hood hop, do all this other disrespectful shit, bringing these niggas over there who are responsible for the death of somebody from over there. And they run into these dudes chasing behind tail and shit. From bitches who don't pay attention to shit, bitches who don't pay attention to the climate of shit, and but maybe saying, because you get broads who grow up in your neighborhood that be like, fuck these niggas over here. You don't fuck with these dusty, ragged head niggas over here. And then they bring niggas from other neighborhoods. Niggas be love chasing that cooch. And they ran themselves into a fucked up situation that they probably had nothing to do with it, but they're from a neighborhood that had something to do with that shit and got their asses hurt pretty bad, but walked away with their lives. Probably not the same, depending on how bad that fucking stump out from that dude was. But it's shit like that. It's just despicable shit from the communities we come from and the way we think of one another. We have no regard for each other. And even as you look at gentrification, I love gentrification. It's beautiful to me because it shows this fucking slave mindset of niggas. Because as whites move into these neighborhoods, they live over these neighborhoods and they treat the community as if it's Beverly Hills. It is safe and as peaceful as living in Beverly Hills for them. But on the other side, people live in this dual existence of being black in the moment and looking at other blacks as a threat, and then flipping it over to acting the proper way with blacks in the society. With white folks over in the same society. And these are people who will kill motherfuckers, rob motherfuckers, beat on motherfuckers. But somehow, in the switch in their brain, they would never do that shit to the motherfucker that looks like a palm. That is some real shit. Go Young DJ says no, he did. Says no, he did 5 for the murders. Wow. Says he went back and did 20. He says because him and his son are selling ecstasy. And wow, see, I did not know that shit. They only gave him 5. That just shows how trash America's prosecutors are. How fucked up America law enforcement is. That a motherfucker can sit there and snitch, rat out people, lie, give the people what they want, sit in a court in front of a jury because we only want that motherfucker. We only want that one dude, this nigga who actually did all the killing, who's a real crazy, psychotic motherfucker. He ratted, he snitched, he can go back. He can go back in the streets. And that shit is wild. That is some wild ass shit. But people have to do it. What's the name was doing all this shit? Why nobody dealt with that shit? But then to see the internet to bring up shit from niggas past and shit they don't know of a dude is is not cool. I don't rock with that shit, but that's not to be compromised and talk about. I'm not no neighborhood crip. I ain't no fucking crip at all. I just look at the situation for what it is. Here are these guys involved, and then you look at the death of a dude like Nipsey and shit. And like y'all talking about, y'all want him. Anytime I play Nipsey music, you niggas got nothing but negative shit to say. It's how fucking compromised y'all are. Y'all compromised based on picking and choosing of who you like, dislike. That shit is not cool. I think black people that do that shit is sad. That's why I be hurt when I look at a lot of shit. If I look at old shit and look at black folks, and you look in this present day of the way in which we are, that shit be bringing tears to my motherfucking eyes. I'm not a crying ass nigga. I don't cry over shit. But like I said, I can go back, watch shit from the 60s. Just like when I listen to old music, the funk and soul, you don't hear all this divisive shit. But niggas doing fucked up business. You hear niggas in here fucking, you from the East and West Coast and all this stupid ass shit. And like, what the fuck has happened, man? That shit is wild to me, man. That shit is so wild to me, man. Just looking at that shit. Wasn't under this division. Deuce says, attacking white people says comes with the threat of the police. Attacking other blacks says not so much. And Deuce buys into that shit. And once again, like I say, black folks got a recidivism for slavery, bro. And you just justify it's okay for black people to attack each other. Sick. Like, fuck out of here. I can slap the fuck out of a white person that's out of line on shit. Because guess what? I'm an American motherfucker as well. I don't know where you niggas get this stuff. You don't touch that white person. I even see black people all the time who be trying to, when I watch these, because I like posting these little inside of America's domestic violence, or I guess as you call people fighting. I know domestic gets caught up in thinking it's relationship related shit, but in people who are in mutual combat situations of fighting, or they can be in a club where shit escalate. Now you watch this shit when black people escalating some shit in a public crowded setting, and you don't see black people trying to de-escalate this shit, holding the person back and all this other shit, how they rile this shit up. Now, when a black person going in strong and tough on a white person, you watch a black person trying his hardest to hold his black motherfucker back. No, brother, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. No, brother. That's how slave-minded niggas is. No, let him go and whoop this motherfucker ass. Just don't let the motherfucker go overboard with stomping the motherfucker out after they down, kicking the motherfucker, punching them while they unconscious. Just don't allow that shit to go on. Now, I watch these shit, the same shit what I'm saying. Don't let that shit go. But I watch when it's black people who have knocked somebody out, a camera holding motherfucker, watch this nigga stomp on this motherfucker, kick this motherfucker, and punch him while they knocked out. And niggas love that shit all fucking day. Don't tell me about what black people the fuck ain't, man. Niggas is fucked up, homie. Salute to you, CJ. Salute. Niggas is fucked up out here. Minds is fucking gone. And it ain't coming from white people teaching niggas that. There be other black niggas that teach that shit. Teach you to hate a motherfucker because they on this side of a street. They wear that color. The niggas ain't in our clique. That's why I say I never liked that Snoop and C Murder shit that fucked them other niggas and all that. I never liked that bullshit. I never liked that shit. Never liked the East Coast, West Coast shit. Never liked any of that shit. Never liked Blood and Crip shit. Never liked that shit. That shit is stupid. Like, but our gangs are necessary. But when you start seeing niggas just want to kill niggas over the dumbest shit, assaulting niggas, beating niggas up. But I understand like where Deuce come from with that shit and the thing that he speaks about with Crips. It be true and shit. From the history of that shit, jumping on people and forcing niggas to, like, that shit ain't cool. Ain't none of that shit. But that's when black people begin to lose their way with understanding who the fuck they are, what they should have been. And the Deuce Stein says low comprehensive ability. Says that wasn't what I was saying. Says simple-minded as fuck. You said attacking white people comes with the threat of the police attacking other blacks. Says not so much. So what was you saying? I comprehended and spoke of that shit for exactly what you just wrote here. Like, unless you don't want people to think of what you wrote as being that. So what else was you saying, bro? It ain't just me feeding off of just your con, because a lot of black people think of that way. They're terrified of white folks. It ain't that they terrified. They think a white person whooped their ass. These niggas got that slave shit still written in them. That's why niggas be acting a certain way if they seen the way I used to act with these motherfuckers and still do sometimes with them. Oh no, Rick, don't do that. Oh no, don't do that. Now, if I was to be this reactionary towards black people promoting that shit all day. And I used to see that shit. That's why I used to fall back from motherfuckers. Because people used to be like, even at a young guy, I used to be like that. Because I used to trip off of like when niggas be clowning or just acting bad, like the attention it got you and shit. And I was mindful of this shit as a young dude. That's why it'd be times I wouldn't want to hang around motherfuckers. I used to love being in my motherfucking self. Because I never loved the attention that they'd get from like clowning, doing shit. Or even with my brother, Tyrone used to love that shit. I didn't after a certain point. Like I just be wanting us to be how I do on here, just to be like we all equal, we all balance. I don't want to be the nigga be at the center of attention, niggas laughing at, because now it brings in certain attention. Jealous motherfuckers over here. Now you gotta watch motherfuckers here. I done watch people flip and turn this way on their friends throughout fucking life. I watched it in the adults. I'm watching the people older. I never liked that shit. So I always be like, if we ain't everybody in the same room equal and all that shit, I'm cool on that shit. And so I'll fall back away from any attention. And it was cool being like that because it gave me a greater stance of observing shit and observing the behavior of niggas. I have a grand understanding of the behavior of niggas. And he says, and then Lyson Clear says, Deuce be faking for these Peckerwoods. Yeah, that's why he defend Trump. They be come over defending that degenerate ass motherfucking white dude. Nigga, Trump is a scumbag. And niggas will defend Trump before they'll defend anything black. And that shit is crazy to me. That nigga's been the most, and then just think of politics, like in this country. Like the shit I hear y'all say about black politicians. A black politician ain't never done anything to fuck up anything in goddamn America. There's been all these white dudes in fucking suits that I think a lot of people in this country are trying to move the fuck away from. Even white folks are trying to move away from a lot of fucking the principle of white America. They've been doing it since the 60s and what people fashion as hippies and all this other shit. And them having the understanding of how foul, fucked up, and unproductive these motherfuckers are and why this country goes nowhere. The fact that these niggas can fucking go about pillaging and stealing from other motherfuckers. People die without shit. People can work all their lives and not have shit because you get motherfuckers to support these scumbag pieces of shit. Like, come on, homie. Niggas, one day niggas will wake up, or maybe a younger generation will wake the fuck up. SF City Sick in the building. Salute, bro. These niggas in here be one to see. Like, this shit is just despicable to me. Like I say, until the court come out and that's what they charge, because everybody, they did this murder, he did that murder. Man, they got him, and then they listen to Whack 100 and all this other stupid shit. That nigga's the most self-hating black motherfucker I've ever seen on the planet. Oh man, No Jumper is the perfect place to watch the behavior of Negroes. Here they go pandering to a white dude who is their primary source of income. This white dude is the most despicable version of a man. He sits there and let his wife get ran through. He married a bitch who's a porn star. But black motherfucker had done any of that shit, they'll be whooping that black dude ass, disrespecting him, making him want an office sober. They run back to Adam 22, kissing his fucking ass. He can go in the ring with the same black dude who has been fucking his wife, get his ass whooped, never throws a punch, and they still kiss Adam's ass. Never said anything. Now, I remember the black gang member motherfuckers who've been fighting had to get DPs because of their boxing matches. Like, that's the, man, come on, man. And then even when you look at the behavior, like I'm even seeing the shit with Crip Mac. That jail shit ain't changed nothing about this dude. And then the fact that people around him rushes him right back to where he left off at. No, their approach to a nigga that had been away from this shit for all them years is to probably like slowly integrate him back in that shit. They don't even realize psychologically what they about to do to that dude. That dude's going to crash the fuck out. And they don't give a fuck because they looking to capitalize off of this nigga. And he doesn't realize any of that shit. And niggas ain't truly homeboys. Money caps everything. Money caps everything. Niggas don't give a fuck about each other. They look at this nigga as a walking lick. He wild in a motherfucker. That jail time ain't fucking rehabilitate him to shit. Ain't improve him. And he rushing back in that shit, dissing everybody gang and shit. Looking like he high again and shit. In these settings where niggas getting high, like it's gonna fuck him up. I think a lot of people who come out of that jail system have to take their time before reacclimating into society. This nigga then jump right back, feeding the fire of this shit. And then Lyson Clear says, I refuse to believe draws line Nipsey up. Yeah, I would never buy into that shit. These old sorry ass prosecutors are gonna have to prove that shit. And proving it off of a snitch. Like, please, these motherfuckers do anything for their freedom after they fuck up. These fools some of the biggest liars, and then they're some of the most deceiving ass people once they are released after snitching. Don't nothing change with these damn fools. And then Lyson Clear says if Adam 22 was a black podcaster talking to these guys like that, he would have been disciplined quick. Yeah, they've been finding him somewhere in the desert. If Adam 22 was black, hell, if Adam 22 had been if Adam 22 been black having this shit done, he would have married a broad like that. They'll be clowning this nigga, talking all bad about him, kicking his ass, and all this other shit. They go in there kissing Adam 22 fucking ass. Adam 22, man, that shit is despicable. The nature of black motherfucker. And then DJ says, I think it's wild, says that Munchie is blind, says and be riding around strapped, laugh out loud. And guess who we got his gun for? Now they can talk about, the Mexicans, this and that. They guns ain't for Mexicans. They guns is for other black motherfuckers. Now, when you hear black gang member niggas talking about they don't like the Mexicans and all that, that's when they want to put on I'm black, y'all cap. But when they keeping it real to what they are, they weapons are for other black motherfuckers. The threats to them are other black motherfuckers. That's the wild shit. It's even like with black motherfuckers. I mean, I used to see this little hood ass bitch I used to go to school with. And she had moved out to Vegas she moved into an upscale little community out here in Vegas. And she'll always post on this shit because she's the only black motherfucker in her neighborhood. And will always have negative shit to say if she see a black motherfucker move in there. I was like, man, I'm looking at who the bitch wrote this shit. Like, you the same old loud ass and still a loud ass bitch. Them white folks probably just think you comedy in your fucking neighborhood. But you having every negative shit to say about a black motherfucker who just moved in the neighborhood. Because you love the pets that you get on your head from the white people in this community. Like, it's some despicable shit from black folks. And it ain't all the time, even though racism is some fucking sick-minded shit. A lot of times what affects black people is other blacks who teach a lot of this ignorant shit that we see within ourselves. That's why I say it, because I like watching old shit. I like the old music, listen to shit, even though I like listening to new age shit, because I ain't about to be no old, out-of-touch ass motherfucker. But I look at this shit, and you don't hear none of this divisive shit. You just hear beautiful music. Even though the artists weren't always the most pleasant of people, they were fucked up. But guess what fucked them up? Drugs and alcohol, and the fact of not knowing how to handle money, not knowing how to deal with chicks, and not knowing how to fucking stay clean and away from drugs and dealing with fame and shit. But outside of that, they didn't talk all that, fuck this nigga over here and fuck them over there and fuck them way in New York, fuck them way in Chicago, and fuck them way in that. You didn't hear none of that shit. Then when you look at the way in which we party, but now that drug shit start hitting the motherfuckers, this one, that despicable shit. We the people come from out of fighting for our freedom off of planned fucking tations, homie. That shit is heartbreaking shit. And then Andrew Charles says nobody set Nipsey up. Says Nipsey died because he was still hanging around the hood, says calling people snitches. Simple as that. And it's unfortunate, even when you look at the Nipsey shit, that you can't even do business in your neighborhood without people having what's deeply centered in their heart, and that's hatred of seeing you up. Because this even in the little transcript shit of where when they did they were doing what's that? It's a channel here that reads actual transcripts from cases, and they were doing the the grand jury indictment shit where they're interviewing the bitch who was driving the car. She led to a lot of this jealousy with this fool. And she talking about she went over there and when she parked, she see Nipsey, she all on his nuts. And you best believe that shit for a dude who ain't really getting bras like that and seeing he got a homie who a superstar, his bitch acting like one of the most fucking knee walking fucking what they call knee walking groupies ever. And in his mind thinking like, man, he can lose his bitch to this dude, and then he's saying that shit, and this dude is already a crazy ass fool. It's simple as that, man. You just can't do business in these neighborhoods, man. And this is what destroys our neighborhoods, that you can't have businesses in them or businesses that grow. Why can't we have fucking Fortune 500 companies in our neighborhoods? They used to be there. But once the dumb nigga shit come in, them motherfuckers is gone. Like that shit is bugged out. And then you have to where you have families who have owned properties and damn near everybody loses this shit because of this behavior and this type of way of thinking and shit. Like even looking at the Claressa shit, since we on the Claressa shit, the shit that went on at that weigh-in, the fighting with people who ain't got nothing to do with getting in the ring, who could have fucked that shit over. Like, come on, man. The fuck is people on? But that's people who are just low class and should never be brought to an event like that. They don't know how to have shit. They just think bringing this fucking degenerate fucking nonsense everywhere they go and shit can fuck off opportunities. And then License Clear says bragging about being the only black person in your neighborhood says it's not a flex. Says it shows a lack of self-pride. That's exactly what it is. And that bitch, when I seen that bitch say that shit, because I told a story on her before. She's the one and my teacher who wrote the book for the movie Crips, Donald Bacura, who I brought on here interview. It was in his class, and he used to be like one of the most prolific teachers. He had laced us with shit. And tell us like the history of our area. Know so much on gang related shit. He was communicating with Monster Cody when he was in prison. We'll get all that shit. He knew all these people. He was fucking teachers to these dudes. And like when he got on here, he was saying when you're seeing all this shit, a lot of the adults didn't pay attention what was changing with these kids. And so, but this same chick will be in that class, loud, ghetto, then she act like one of them bitches from Baps. Or you remember how the bitches was ghetto in the movie Sprunk? She act like one of them bitches, just loud, that little annoying ass, fuck you, and then and all this shit, just always talking. And the little, you know how the bitches be chewing the gum like the bitch on Friday, smacking and loud, popping gum and shit. She's like one of them bitches, loud as fuck and disrespectful in this proud black teachers class that care for us and shit. And it was one day we was in class, I forget what we was doing. We going in groups or something. And she told the nigga, the dude was like, yeah, that's what he's telling you, because she was running her mouth. Like while he was teaching, she's like telling her to be quiet or something. And he's like, man, bitch, I've been trying to be cool with you. He said, she's like, now I'm about to get disrespect because he's telling her to be quiet. She wanted to run in her mouth. And he's like, bitch, now I'm trying to be respectful. He's like, yo, mama, bitch. And then try to walk over. Man, this chick all but like 5'3" or some shit. Come walking, but these are bitches who've been taught to be disrespectful and want to challenge dudes. She walked over that dude. That dude smacked the fuck out of her, knocked her the fuck out. And guess what everybody else did? Didn't give two fucks. We have an incident, bring security, pick the bitch up. They didn't give two fucks about this dumbass bitch. And then I see her later and shit. When I first get on Facebook, and that's every time she write that shit. Because she living in, what's the little community out here? Rose Ranch or some shit. And she bragged about, bitch, she was on Section 8 with the shit on top of that shit. But then bragging that you was tired. She always post some negative shit about black folks moving into this fucking neighborhood. Like, you fucking degenerate bitch. And then, like, them people are probably as fucking low class as you, trying to move around white folks who probably don't want your low class ass around them. Loud and shit. And the Boxer Sparring says, since Total Anarchy says after they took out El Mencho, says they set stores, banks, cars, gas stations on fire. Says this shit is far from over. They just gonna set their country on fire because who they gonna what probably could happen is they kill that president. They can kill the mayor of that town. But as far as going at them going ahead with that military and shit, that military about to annihilate the motherfuckers. That military about to have all type of intel on these fools. They don't go into skirmish. Maybe some military people get killed, but ultimately they're going to be outgunned, outsupplied. They can be starved out, and then they got the U.S. military backing that shit. It ain't gonna work out for him, and I think Trump is really on some not giving a fuck shit. And then Trump is mad right now. That tariff shit that got shut down by Supreme Court. Trump about to fuck shit up. Trump about to fuck shit up. They can burn stores all they want. All they're gonna do is just starve out their people. They haven't been nothing productive to their people. If they can go about burning stores and all that other shit down, ain't like you making a revolutionary mark like how with people bringing up with the riots and all that shit or the LA rebellion. Andrew Charles says when you make money, says you got to leave the hood, says you got to leave the hood or the trailer park behind, says and never look back. Absolutely. And that's, but you know what's fucked up? That's the cold way that's the really how it has to be. And especially like when you look at for South Central motherfuckers, because South Central is not a fucked up place. Niggas have made it that shit. It is not a bad place. Niggas have made it that way. And that's the cold part about that shit. That you'll be like, to make it, you got to move away from these motherfuckers. Now, if I grew up in fucking Beverly Hills or some other predominantly white place with resources and all that shit, I can make money. And the ideal is not to move away from that motherfucker. That's when you know you got a problem. When your first thought is to making it, is to get away from this fucking place. God, that shit is crazy, man. That shit is crazy. Box Barnes says, was that girl related to Fred Hawthorne? She probably was. Man, that chick was just the most. I was glad she was able to have a home for her kids and all that other shit. But it's like much hadn't changed about it. She's still a loud ass broad. She's still ignorant as fuck. Hopefully her kids wasn't going to be nothing like her and shit, which it looked like the daughters were going to be. Like, motherfucker, that chick was just seeing her with a bunch of kids, different fathers and shit. She turned out to be a statistic of what you can observe from her behavior, the way she talked, the way she carried herself. She became that statistic, except she used her Section 8 to bring her kids out here, live in a nicer neighborhood that they were probably bringing in that degenerate shit. Because, you know, some people that can live in good neighborhoods, still have that ghetto mentality, and their kids exhibit that shit in nice quality neighborhoods. And then you deal with the white folks, we run their asses out. Then they be talking about, look at all these racist white people doing this and that. No, they just want your stupid ass to fuck away from them because they don't conduct themselves like that. And then Lyson Clear says the box sparring says, unfortunately, says it's just getting started for the cartel. Says the current administration has spoken. Says the current administration has spooked the Mexican government, says to take more aggressive steps to end the narcos. Yeah, Trump behind that shit. Now Trump got to fully support them. But even I think that Mexican lady is a tough ass president. Thinks she a tough ass chick, and maybe that's her thing. But I think they was probably forced into moving fast on this shit because Trump was almost threatening to go in there and take over that shit in their country. And then Lyson Clear says, Brock Spartan Lyson Clear says, I agree. Says this is just getting started for them cartels. And then the Buck Spartan says, my sister husband's from Puerto Vallarta. Says that place looks like the U.S. Says so many retired Americans live in the country club areas. Says hopefully the cartel leaves them folks alone. Says our U.S. will step in. That's what Trump hoping. Trump hoping they fucking do something to people because Trump don't care. It's no different than Bush caring about the people who died in 9/11. They didn't give a fuck about that. He used that shit and say, oh, fuck. I'm going to go look at this little money play. They got all that oil down there. Afghanistan probably got all type of shit over there. Man, fuck that. We about to mourn the loss of these 3,000 people that died on 9/11 day. And we're going to launch this stupid-ass, pointless war that ain't got shit to do with them people dying. And go into this shit. So Trump would be like, let them people die so we can go right down into Mexico. And maybe even take over some area of Mexico. It become U.S. Mexico. It'd be new territory. Trump would love for them to harm one of them damn people. Let the cartel probably thinking like, oh no, El Gringo Trump would send The might of U.S. military, we ain't ready for that shit. Half our guns come from over there. So no, we need to chill the fuck out. Our guns come from over in America. We need to chill the hell out fucking with them. You seen they done fucking went in the Bin Laden country, like niggas that went in the Maduro country and said, nah, we ain't gonna really fuck with y'all, but we're gonna show y'all if we wanted to how easy this shit is. They really went in there, slid down the ropes of a helicopter, grabbed the nigga, and flew the fuck out. Man, come on. Them fools can't fuck with America. Cartel can be angry and shit. Cause guess what just happened? They about to all go into poverty. All them cartel dudes, unless they move to other places in Mexico, if they can join another cartel, they about to be poor. They about to be poor as fuck. And that's what that shit is just a reaction to a leader being taken out that they couldn't stop and do nothing about. And now they be like, let's fuck up the economy. Let's fuck up the country's economy, make things bad. And then we're going to realize, damn, what the fuck we doing? Eddie Charles says he killed everybody. He killed everybody and their mama. Yeah, it ain't nothing to be like, oh, they killed some sane shit. And the TB in the building says salute. Yeah, that cartel nigga ain't no saint. Their days are numbered and shit. And Edgy Charles says his name is that's supposed to be his name is Fujimura. Says he's serving a life sentence, says for crimes against humanity, but he ended terrorism in Peru. Who was that? A president of Fujimura. So what he do? He must have been dealing dope or some shit. Fujimura must have been dealing dope down there or some shit. Yeah, but Trump ain't playing with these motherfuckers, man. He ain't playing with these fools with the drug related shit. But if he ain't playing with the drug related shit, he need to start getting in on these white kids from this country that are bringing drugs into America and shit. Because that's what it's always been. As much as he blames South Americans and all that shit, these white kids are definitely funneling that shit into America. They have the resource. They got mama and grandmama and granddaddy and dad's money that have allowed them to fucking funnel shit through here, create the logistics needed to bring shit into black areas to be sold and all this other shit. And that's simply how that shit has always worked. That's the network. And so if Trump want to be serious about drug shit as much as he wants to be on South Americans, while he's shooting the boats, the white kids flying the planes over here, dropping that shit into through America's airports and probably owning some of the ships, bringing it to American ports. And Charles says that's why it ain't making sense. Talking about the whole drug shit or what's not making sense? Because I see you talking about Fujimura, who's serving life sentence for crimes against humanity, says but ended terrorism in Peru. And then he says, that's why it's not making sense. Yeah, none of this shit makes sense. But like I say, these fools launching these wars and all that other shit, like I always stated about Trump, he wasn't going to be none of the shit that he conned y'all niggas into believing about him. He's always been a bait and switcher. He's a dude who is on a warpath because he's a crybaby, silver spoon dude, thinks everything's supposed to be given to him. He's been everything's been handed to him. He's been pampered all throughout his life and shit, and think everything's supposed to be his way. And he think he speaks for the American people. He thinks he's the brain of the American people. He's not. And he employed all these old yes man ass dudes and girls who don't know shit about what they're doing and just covering shit up. These dudes just out here covering all type of shit up that's going on in this country. And you begin to start to see as he implements kind of the certain class white system versus the everybody else system that people fall in. They want to put law and order about. Like it's just despicable. It's just the despicable nature of people like Trump and the rest of them and shit. But I like to see. So this is right across our borders. These fools got some shit that's escalating that hopefully it stays on that side of the border, but who knows? But then you got all this other way out shit that is beginning to happen here in America. The little terrorist plot from the dude out here in Vegas. You didn't have that, and guess what? That was a white dude too who tried to knock the power grid out here in Vegas. Then you had the damn you had the white dude. They had the smoke up there in Mar-a-Lago today and shit. So it's all type of shit. Like what's going on? The lone wolf starting the act, or the one-time supporters becoming on the other side of getting back at this dude they feel is creating the pain they feel in their lives and shit. And there's going to be more pain in the economy, which affects people's lives. That's the easiest way to affect people, is to affect them economically. That's the one way to destroy the black community, was to affect it economically. And that's the one thing people got to wake up, man, and got to be more political and stronger in their voice and opinions. And let me say that that's what I forgot to bring up earlier. Is like the blackness in that Claressa Shields shit today. I love the blackness in that shit with Claressa Shields and the rollout of the motherfucking national anthems. The fact she did the black national anthem, she brought. Hey, and let me ask. I should have said that shit in the beginning of this shit, because the national anthem, they brought Kelly Price to do the national anthem. Because I was looking at it like, what kind of tacky shit is nigga talking about? The national anthem, is it recording? They bring somebody out, and I hear them talking over the mic. And so they bring Kelly Price out. And Kelly Price didn't do the real, I think she did part of the national anthem, then she did the black one. Am I right or wrong? Was that the black national anthem Kelly Price did too? But it was extra black. And the girl Passion, I thought Passion was going to be a little ratchet ass chick. I said, oh shit, here go Claressa with this old ghetto-fied jungle shit. Bringing a singer out named Passion, and Passion got the blowing like a motherfucker. I'm looking like, damn, this shit is some church shit. And I was loving it. She brought out the black national anthem. I'm like, oh yeah. Then they bring Kelly Price out. Then Kelly Price is singing like 5 verses, like the best part of the national anthem. Then I think her shit flipped to the black national anthem shit too. Am I right or wrong? And then they gave a 10 count for fucking Jesse Jackson. Salute to Claressa Shields for that shit. Now she could have kept all that baddie shit out the damn programming and shit. But yeah, and it says Boxing Sparring says he'll do everything and anything to show force and power except release them files. Facts. He'll do all that shit. He'll do all that shit. And then Tex G says, at first I thought Boosie says was Gorilla Sister, Bro-Rilla. A bunch of little ass motherfuckers, man. Boosie had that shit rocking though and shit. Ain't that shit crazy with the Gorilla Sister? But then it goes back. Look how famous motherfuckers who are part of that kind of level of thinking. Like the sister is funny. Like I said, I believe in comical shit. I believe in laughing at other shit, but these people have made this girl into a celebrity. Like they see her in public and they want to run up and take her picture and shit, and acting as if she's something to be celebrated and something to be honored and wanting to frame on the wall and get autographs. Like I couldn't believe that some people are that low in life and such scumbag ass people that they think something famous of this chick. I like to see that now she's making some money and shit, getting it while it's short-lived. But guess what she's using with her money? To buy the dumbest of shit. But she's funny as fuck, but she's also foul as fuck to air that shit out about her family and shit. And then it shows how low budget she is. She talking about her sister a millionaire and all this shit, but she only want $2,500. That's just like y'all niggas going talking about the damn unk from Tenderism. He just want $7,000 and shit. This is low budget, is a motherfucker. But would cry, moan, and complain about the dumbest of shit and fuck off opportunities for himself. But yeah, it's crazy seeing Gorilla Sister then became famous. Now other people surrounded by her coming out trying to air out shit. Want to see, damn, Glorilla, our sister getting paid off of this. Let me wait till I drop this little drama-filled bullshit about our sister, Gloria, who's a millionaire now and shit. And then Box Sparring says Boosie was wearing Remy Ma's fur coat. Says he borrowed that shit from he borrowed that shit from Pap Smear. But yeah, I was tripping off that little red fur ass shit he was wearing as well too. But see, he was in Detroit. You know, Detroit pimps love wearing a bunch of little loud ass shit. They love, that's the one thing about Midwest people. They love to dress and be loud, to be seen and be heard. But that's what that shit is. But yeah, I enjoy that shit but somebody answered, did Kelly Price turn the regular national anthem, which does need to be changed, into the black national anthem? She didn't even do because I didn't hear her say none of that when the Rockets wear glare, bombs burn. I didn't hear Kelly do none of that shit. I like these niggas is really putting that black stamp on this shit. I was loving that shit. I loved every aspect of it. But am I wrong? I'm gonna have to go back because I didn't hear no bomb bursting in air shit in the song she sung. She turned the lift voice and sing too. Like they was having a versus competition with each other. Like, but the other girl had a choir. She was hitting her notes. She was blowing like a motherfucker. I thought that shit was fire, and I love that shit because it's time to put the black stamp on everything. It is time to put a black historical mark on what is American. Put the accomplishments of what black shit is. Even I was watching some shit earlier. It was a Latina chick I seen on Instagram. I didn't subscribe to her shit, but I seen her shit. She over in, it almost made, but she had a Venezuelan flag. She's like the Latino, white looking Venezuelan type motherfucker. But she looked like she may have been in Africa, and she was in there talking about roots and shit. And I see her dancing in African style, like with the women dancing. What region? Because all Africa ain't the same, but some region of Africa, they dance to the drums. And she's talking about her heritage and all this other shit. That now out of the world, out of the globalized bigotry and awakening from Donald Trump's racism, is starting to wake people up to what not only just black Americans, but the plight of the Africans and their history and shit. And people wanting to fucking open. Even I'll be looking at some shit with Mexico, and they open up about the history of Mexican and their food culture coming from Africa and all this other shit. People waking up to that shit, and it's time for this old low life dumb shit that you see from street niggas who want to play, who just throw a stupid ass mark. We all from the street. If these niggas talking, we from the same community. Stupid motherfuckers. They ain't our behavior. They ain't us. You niggas is something the fuck else. Niggas is something that the fuck else, a poor representation of us. Now, even when I walk through the store, before I used to talk about how I used to have to check foreigners all the fucking time. I walk by and them niggas got a different damn fucking behavior and within them and shit. So I'm spending less time checking a foreigner. They'd move out the fucking way versus me having to kick their fucking basket out the goddamn way. They have an understanding. And even that shit, it don't mean no fucking forgiving. You niggas got decades ago of learning some shit. Donald Trump just woke your stupid ass up because a lot of you niggas hit the little check in your fucking ballot thinking he can target black folks because you've been taught that stupid shit, been believing that stupid shit. Other niggas been teaching you that it's true. We ain't nothing but slaves and all this other shit. Nothing black people can do. They hear black people say that shit. And they come to realize that one of the most racist, bigoted motherfuckers of their time can't do a fucking thing about it with us. The niggas who have blasted pussy ass people in America's only internal conflict. It's been black folks, the ones who have always fought in Americans' internal conflicts, that even foreigners who come over, especially a lot of Asians, who have been bombed by shit by, you know, it's white side of America, black side of America. Black side of America in power will never do the ill shit you've seen whites when in power. That when blacks get in power, moving to power and position, it's the stupid ass Negroes that want to throw a black nigga on a microscope. These niggas ain't never used a microscope a day of their life until they see a black nigga to put it up on. You can give a nigga a microscope set, that shit sit in the closet, collect dust on it. They won't give a fuck if it broke. They say, oh shit, this nigga trying to run this country. Let me get my microscope out. Oh shit, put that nigga on the microscope. That bitch ain't from America. Her daddy in India and shit. Obama wife ain't even here. That's the dumb shit niggas do. Because you niggas disgusting, homie. Like, but these white folks can. But going back to this shit with the Asians, how they come over here. And this is why I be checking them. You come over here acting a certain way, kissing ass, when it needs to bombed your motherfucking country and then drop nukes on some of you motherfuckers. That ran through your village, chopping motherfuckers down. Then when they want to decide they're going to steal shit, they let some of you motherfuckers come over here, but would teach you the black motherfuckers over there are criminals. They ain't nothing but this and that. And we're going to give y'all loans, let you open stores. Your stores ain't going to be around white folks. So I'm going to tell you this. You can go in a little Chinatownville. We'll set up some area for you, but you can't come over here to making money in these white neighborhoods and shit. That white neighborhood shit only go for white immigrants. We'll let you go in the black areas, but black folks is not to be trusted. I want you to watch them when they walk through the stores. Tell them to take their black, because like I say, first time I ever heard of Africa was from fucking Koreans and shit. Why they tell you a monkey and all that other shit. And we always been comical kids. We always talking Bruce Lee shit and do shit you watch in America, racist ass cartoons that show Chinese people like this and all that other shit. You didn't care they was from Vietnam, Japan, all they was all the same. You watch the racist shit from white ass cartoons that used to play back in the day that we used to still see on TV. The Bruce Lee shit, we go in their stores, fuck them. They talking about some Africa. Us as we so young, we don't know what the fuck Africa is. You monkey, you could tell and this and that. We fucking around clowning these motherfuckers. Used to get a crazy laugh out of fucking with these people who don't look like nobody in the neighborhoods we live in, but they just have all these stores that we either go in, buy some shit, you go in intention to buy some shit until they start doing this following you shit that most of y'all saw play out in Minister Society. Or they saying shit to you, so you'll steal shit. You'll put shit in your pocket, may buy, because I be tripping off some of the candy I see. Like I went in there and seen a pack of Skittles today at I was at CVS. Them motherfuckers is, what is the Skittles for? Them motherfuckers like, but I'm looking at like, damn, from economic shit, like Trump really fucking up. I love to just put on Trump, but I seen Skittles for like $3. The packs I used to see as a kid for 50 fucking cents were like $3 and something. No, it was like 2 something. No, it wasn't. CVS prices was high on this candy. I said, God damn. But so I was thinking about like when we used to pay a 25-cent, and this goes back to why I used to love being around old people back when I was a kid and listening to them talk about prices of shit. Hamburgers and hot dogs for like a dime or a nickel, whatever they said they used to pay for them. Movies for 25 cents or some shit. Candies for a penny and shit like that, all this type of stuff. I used to be thrilled in hearing that shit, because even Skittles, I'd be like, they paid this and I'm buying Skittles as my candy for 50 cents off the truck. Now Skittles, you fucking can barely find Skittles for $2 now. It's crazy. So I'm looking at that shit like, this shit is wild. But like I said, we used to go in their stores and get lemon head, Boston baked beans, even bags of chips. The little bag of chips used to be $0.25. And then we used to see them motherfuckers start to go, they got the 35 cents. Now them little bag of chips is fucking like $1 something if they still sell them like that. But when you go in these stores, these Koreans had all type of shit. That's even before leading with the Latasha Harlan shooting, which kicked off bad shit for the Koreans in their stores when the riots kicked off. But the motherfuckers are always doing that shit because they learned that shit from whites. But whites, before they came to this country, were killing these motherfuckers. But we'll program these niggas when they get here to be on some other shit about people who ain't never done a damn thing to them, even if they're in the military or in their country. That just shows the sick-mindedness of how stupid people around the world is. And I think the more you treat people like shit, the better you can get control of them. And that's the crazy part. They'll respect the ones who constantly kick them in their fucking ass. That's why people are afraid to approach crazy people, because they're gonna respect the people who kick them in their fucking ass. And then Boxer Sparring says nobody from the LWC says was there to support Claressa event. Says yet they yelled that pro-black shit. Says and asked for super chat. Says props to Buzz. Says for showing continuous love and support to Claressa. Absolutely. And I be hating to listen to these niggas always want to talk racism about in boxing. Shit ain't existing in no damn boxing. These niggas is stupid. I keep hearing Drew regurgitate that dumb ass shit. Like ain't no civil rights in boxing, dumbass nigga. And then Andrew Charles says, I like the traditional version of the anthem. Says you can jazz it up. Says you can jazz it up a little bit. Says, but I don't like too much pizzazz on it. Like, nah, that version of the national anthem is trash. It was written by a trash bitch with no rhythm into her. So the song is outdated. And I think a lot of people find racism in that shit. I don't see the racism, but historically there's some racist shit in that national anthem. And why black people have developed their own version of that shit, which you don't hear sung much enough. Because some black people get talked out of that shit. They get brought into this assimilation of shit and given more power towards black people not so much having a voice, because they already see the influence that black people have over shit. But I remember, damn, I think I learned that motherfucking black national anthem Was it in elementary? I think who taught us? Somebody taught us that black name. I think that shit might have been at in elementary at Woodcrest. I think somebody might have taught us that shit. Or was it at Clay? I know I learned that shit somewhere, or it could have been even at church. Maybe church was teaching us the black national anthem and shit. And then I think, I don't know if it on an award show or somewhere, if I ever seen it sung on TV, but I think at our church they were teaching that shit. I forgot what we learned. I believe it was church. And then in the box sparring says good fights at tonight's events though. Says everyone was throwing them things tonight. Yeah, they were the girls was good. The dudes in there knocking each other out with their head butts. So I don't know how they gave that dude the knockout in the co-main event. That fight should be reversed. So hopefully the dude team and them can challenge that decision so that way he doesn't have a loss on his record like that. Because that shouldn't earn that dude a knockout victory. And I'm pretty sure that dude doesn't want a victory like that on his record. That's why he's talking about he'll rematch the dude. But old dude was fucked up. Took a headbutt like that. But folks, that's all I got on this one. I'm going to call this one the end. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Something to pop off tomorrow. It's going to definitely be some war-related shit. I already know that. Either we're going to be launched into Iran conflict, Mexico conflict at the same time. They done went silent on what's popping over in Israel as Israel shut the media up out of there. Trump and them already in their little plan to fucking build a villa in these people's country is wild. You talking about colonization in the fucking modern age is what you seeing with a fool robbing and stealing named Donald J. Trump and the rest of them. But it ain't just Trump. It's been the rest of these white dudes that y'all vote for. And when you vote for them in this position of power that allow you dumb niggas and backwood idiots and suit-wearing idiots have thought was the suit-wearing idiots are smart enough to know that that position of presidency is a very powerful position. That's why they donate so much money into it. And now the dumb Negroes and deranged low-life trailer trash have learned that the presidency is a position of true fucking power. That's all I got. Catch y'all on the next one. Wake the fuck up. Get off that conspiracy dumb shit. And shit is just what it appears. Everything ain't with no goddamn dumbass conspiracy. Some shit is hidden that it will come to the light. But that's all I got. Peace.